Welcome to Argentina and round 6 of the World Rally Championship. It's been an unconventional start. The teams had to negotiate a 700-kilometre trip down to Buenos Aires on Thursday night. The cars went by road whilst the drivers headed for the airport. And all this for a super special stage in the famous River Plate soccer stadium. It was a stunning location and the fans were treated to some action WRC style. Hirvonen set the fastest time. While Peter Solberg did the entertaining. Unfortunately, poor weather meant there were delays for the return journey, and some crews actually wouldn't make it back that night. More bad weather on Friday led to further delays, which in turn led to all of Friday's stages being cancelled, except the evening's super special. An extra problem for the organisers was some bewildered and disappointed fans.
To be fair to them, they have done a very good job. It's a big organisation to do what we did yesterday. So it's not so nice to say anything bad about it. They tried absolutely everything they could, and the weather you can't do anything with. So we are ready now, and hopefully we will give them a very good show the rest of the weekend. And the only thing we can say is sorry about the weather.
Mikko Hirvonen won both super special stages and takes a 2.4-second lead into today's stages. Citroen's number 2 Sordo is second, with his teammate Loeb half a second behind him. Grönholm's fourth, just a tenth of a second behind the champion. There are no super specials today, just plenty of action. The first loop heads northwest of Cordoba, with the afternoon loop heading south of the city for some of the fastest stages of the weekend, starting and finishing with the famous Santa Rosa test. In all, there's 159 kilometres of classic Argentinian action. It's a damp start to the second leg. The first challenge, the 19-kilometre La Cumbre test. With only the 2 super specials run so far, road position is still decided by championship standings, so it's Sebastian Loeb to take on stage 10 first. He's away, scrabbling for grip on the damp surface. Could have been at a real disadvantage running first on the road with only 2 days left, but this damp weather has prevented the loose gravel hampering his progress too much. Grönholm's next. He starts today just 1/10 of a second behind his long-time rival. The Finn is normally one of the best in the business at attacking the gravel rallies, but with Loeb winning the opening 2 gravel events, it's a worrying trend he needs to put a stop to. Third in the championship and third on the road is current rally leader Mikko Hirvonen. The young Finn has managed to build a 2.4-second advantage already. No mean feat after less than 5 kilometres of stadium super specials behind him. Fultz number 2 is a little off the pace here though, and he may lose his brief hold on the rally lead. Peter Solberg is up next. Norwegian's progress in Argentina has too often been hampered by the Imprezza's failings through water splashes. The team, though, are confident that these problems are behind them, and these stages should be tailor-made for Peter's strengths as a driver. La Cumbre is one of the most challenging stages in Argentina, just under 19 kilometres of twisty, bumpy gravel tracks, and it's very, very narrow. Oh, but a mistake there for Loeb. He stalled at that tight hairpin. Rare error, but not too much time lost. So the pressure's on the Frenchman then as he completes the final few kilometres of the stage. And a chance now to check on the world champion's progress in the C4's debut in South America.
Seb, first proper stage of the rally. What are conditions like out there?
It's a bit like here. It's a bit wet, but not too much. Just humid, so conditions are good. It was just a little fog, but not so much also, so no problem.
Happy with the car?
Happy with the car, yes. With the driver, I don't know, little mistakes in some places, so I don't lose too much, but I have absolutely no information of the others, so it will be a big surprise.
On such a bumpy, narrow stretch of road, attacking the stage requires exemplary concentration on the notes and the line in the road ahead. But making no mistakes is only half the task. The other half is driving faster than Sébastien Loeb, which won't be helped by the lack of split times the Frenchman referred to there. And as Marcus closes on the finish line now, he's not going to complete the second half of that equation. 4.6 seconds behind Sébastien on the stage. Now 4.7 behind overall. Loeb looking like the man to beat again at the moment then, but it's not quite as good a start for Citroën teammate Dani Sordo. The Spaniard was lying second after the Super Specials, but he's a little off the pace on stage 10 and drops down to 5th. These conditions really are very tricky this morning. Bad weather's certainly not dampened the spirits of the fans who've turned out in huge numbers again, though. The Subarus are still to finish. Chris Atkinson and new co-driver Stefan Frevo are continuing to build their new partnership. It's the first time the Belgian co-driver has used English pace notes. He seems to be dealing with it fine so far, though. The pair are 7th fastest on the stage and currently in 6th overall. Solberg and co-driver Phil Mills, though, are old hands at this. Rally Argentina marks the pair's 100th event together with Subaru, so they'll hope to mark the occasion with a strong finish. But how will they fare against Sébastien Loeb on stage 10? I don't think they'll beat him, but they're not going to be far away.
Extra long, tightens 4 minus. The 2 left minus, tightens 1 plus.
4.1 seconds slower. That's the best of the rest behind the world champion. So their concerns over the new Impreza setup were perhaps a little premature.
Petter, first proper stage of the rally, what was it like?
Car work not so bad. Still a little bit too soft, and it's very, very heavy on the steering on a very narrow piece, but not so bad, but it can be much better than this also.
This weekend is a big occasion for Luis Perez Companc. It's the home debut of the Argentinian's new Munchies team, coming so soon after his brother Pablo has recovered from a serious accident in the Indy Lights Series in Miami. There is an optimistic air around the team. Oh, but that's not the start the local star wanted. His local knowledge couldn't stop him being caught out by this notoriously difficult stage. He hit that bridge very hard, and I think that could be the end of his day already. All change on the leaderboard then after the first non-super special stage. Loeb jumps from 3rd to 1st, with Hervinen and Sordo falling in the opposite direction. Petter Solberg's now 2nd, 4.5 seconds behind the leader. Still 4 stages to come before the first service break, the next of which, Ascochinga, is the longest of the day at 23 kilometres. Loeb then's made the perfect start as he appears through the mist here, but it's still very close. Can he maintain his momentum into these next stages? The C4, of course, has yet to be tested through Argentina's infamous water splashes. Stage 12 features the first major crossing, so we're about to find out if the new Citroën is as comfortable through them as the Zara used to be. Well, a slightly cautious approach there from Sébastien as he tries to find the car's limit through water. He is, though, still fastest again on stages 11 and 12. Marcus Gronholm, though, is doing his best to stay in touch with the world champion. He's 2nd fastest on these 2 stages, only beaten by 2.6 seconds on 11 and then just 0.6 in 12. And a much more aggressive style through the water there than Sébastien Loeb. Well, Gronholm may be struggling to beat Loeb, but comparing the 2 rivals' approaches into that water splash, And Gronholm clearly arrives at a faster speed. This may come into play later in the day if Loeb continues his cautious approach. There are still plenty of crossings to come today. Petter Solberg still seemed a little concerned with the setup of the new Impreza in that earlier interview. Although despite that, the Norwegian has been in good form so far today. Oh, but a small spin there for Petter. Well, that could have been much worse, and he should be on his way without losing too much time. Maybe 10 seconds or so lost there. That could be enough to hand second place to Marcus Gronholm. That's the target time he needed to stay in the runner-up spot. And he's already passed it with the last bend still to come. Early frustration for Petter. He falls to third.
Yeah, pity about that, but at least it wasn't too bad.
Danny Sordo, meanwhile, is beginning to come under some pressure from Petter's teammate Chris Atkinson, and he's lost his front bumper somewhere too, which means he has to be extra cautious through those water splashes. The Spaniard is 6th fastest on stage 11, 1.4 seconds slower than the Australian. So chance perhaps for Chris to take advantage in stage 12. The Subaru driver began the stage 9 seconds behind, but with Sordo struggling, Atkinson is attacking the road hard, hoping to claim 5th place. There's the time he has to beat to claim the position. He might just do it here. Oh, not quite. A good effort from Chris, and he's now only 1/10 of a second behind. So no change in positions on the leaderboard after stage 12, but it's all still very tight. Loeb is just 7.9 seconds ahead of Gronholm, while the top 4 are covered by less than 25. And that battle for 5th is too close to call at the moment. So it's the world champion who's the man to beat for now. The chase continues after the break. Welcome back to Argentina and some of the fastest and toughest gravel roads that South America has to offer. So far this morning, Sebastian Loeb has staked his claim on his pursuit of a 3rd consecutive Rally Argentina victory. He leads by 7.9 seconds ahead of Ford's Marcus Gronholm. The final 2 stages now before the midday service break, and Loeb's immediately back into the groove. Despite the slippery, damp conditions this morning, the Frenchman has barely put a foot wrong, and it's another masterful display through stages 13 and 14. Once again, the world champion is quickest in both. The drivers behind are not hanging around. They're doing all they can to keep the pressure on, but in this kind of form, Loeb's a tough act to follow. Plus, Petter Solberg and Marcus Gronholm are already involved in their own battle for the runner-up spot.
6 left plus. 50.
Subaru's number 1 beats Gronholm by 4 seconds on stage 13 to close the gap between them to 3.5.
Flat small crest, 120.
Solberg's mini fight back doesn't last long, however. Unlike the Norwegian, Gronholm has a winning pedigree at this event, claiming the top spot here for Peugeot in 2003. Rather heavy impacts there on that crossing. No big dramas though, and Marcus responds immediately to Solberg's charge, beating him by 6.3 seconds on stage 14 to stretch the gap to just under 10. So the battle for 2nd continues to ebb and flow, but what about the fight for 5th between Danny Sordo and this man, Chris Atkinson? While the Australian may be struggling to find a way of getting the best from his new Impreza, which debuted in Mexico, but it doesn't seem to be preventing him from closing on Sordo this morning. Chris finishes the job and passes the Citroen driver on stage 13. He's now ahead by 2 seconds. It's a different story in the final test before the service break, though. Atkinson's really struggling for pace for some reason through this short 11-kilometre stage, and Sordo could reclaim the place at the first attempt despite still missing that front bumper. That's the target time Danny needs to be to take 5th, and with the finish boards fast approaching, this is looking good. Yes, he's smashed Chris's effort and is back in front by 3.8 seconds. The gap between Loeb and Gronholm at the top of the leaderboard is now up to 15.4 seconds, the Frenchman having won all 6 of today's stages. Petter Solberg is 9.8 seconds behind Ford's #1 in 3rd, while Hirvonen continues to fall behind, now over 41 seconds behind the leader. The crews head back to service in Carlos Paz, and some are certainly happier than others.
It was a very good start also for us. We've done all the best times this morning, so it proves that the car is going well. Me also, the feeling with the car was good, and with the rain, my road position is not a disadvantage, so it's very good.
You're not as happy as maybe we normally see you?
No, a little bit frustrating because we don't know what to do now to catch him. A little bit difficult.
I'm very happy. The performance we have done so far is very good, and except for that one spin we had on the second stage this morning, we lost 10, 11, 12 seconds. I'm not sure, but a lot. And we're keeping up, and you know we should have been in front of Marcus. So it's not bad at all, but we still just have to improve a little bit more to keep get a little bit closer, and then I think we have a good chance to beat them.
It's the famous Santa Rosa stage next, loved by drivers and fans alike, and its signature sequence is the downhill run to this most iconic of water splashes, which has seen plenty of dramas over the years. The stage itself is over 21 kilometers long and one of the fastest tests of Rally Argentina. Sebastian Loeb is waiting to get underway on the start line. It's been a dream start so far for the world champion today, already with an advantage of over 15 seconds. There are still no split times available to compare his speed to his rivals, so he's simply driving as fast as he can. Seb's immediately up to speed in Santa Rosa, but a couple of idiotic fans caught in the wrong place alongside Argentina's most famous water crossing, but there's little sign of backing off this time from Loeb. These faster flowing stages this afternoon should suit Marcus Gronholm down to the ground. If he wants to keep his hopes of winning this rally alive, then now would be a good time to start the fight back. He's looking incredibly quick here, but has he done enough to close on the flying Frenchman? It's looking good, yes. For the first time today, Loeb is beaten. Not by much though, just 2.6 seconds made up. But finally, signs of progress for Marcus.
Marcus, you have the record for this stage, which Sebastian actually has just beaten. But it gives you a bit of confidence coming into here?
Yeah, it's better, but okay, if I can catch him now 2.5, I think we were faster. So it's nothing.
It's something, though.
It's something, yeah. We have to make him nervous, you know.
The mind games beginning at the front then. Here's Petter Solberg now. With that one small spin aside, it's been a promising start to the day for the former world champion. And there was certainly no sign of hesitation through the water splash from Petter. He's third fastest on stage 15. It slips further behind the leading pair. Let's get back to that nip and tuck battle for 5th now. Danny Sordo has just repassed Chris Atkinson for the position on the previous stage. He's currently 3.8 seconds ahead and is attacking hard here on stage 15 in his efforts to keep the Australian behind. It wasn't a great time from Sordo, but can Atkinson manage to overhaul the Citroën man over this 21-kilometre test? He's not far from the finish line now. That's Sordo's time, 13 minutes, 10.6 seconds. But I think Chris could slip further back here. Yes, another 3.2 seconds lost to Danny. He's now 7 behind overall. A frustrating run for Subaru's #2.
Sorry? The car? Yeah, it's unbelievable. That went bad, like, into the stage. It's like the snake. Yeah, exactly.
Chris, you were 3.8 behind Danny coming into the stage. Everything okay? You don't look too happy.
We're wasting our time if it's like that. Really just wasting our time.
So Atkinson not a happy man, and his mood didn't improve on stage 16 either. Over 20 seconds off the pace, and he falls behind Latvala to 7th. Behind them, Henning Solberg's moved into the points, while Loeb's now 15.1 seconds ahead of Gronholm after winning stage 16. 2 more stages still to come today, but can Gronholm find a way to close up on the world champion? Find out after the break. Welcome back to Argentina for round 6 of the World Rally Championship. Before we rejoin the action for the final 2 stages of the day, a chance now to catch up with a few drivers further down the order. Stobart VK4 driver Matthew Wilson finished 8th here last season, one of only 2 occasions when the Brit has finished in the points. But he's unlikely to repeat that feat this year. A frustrating electrical failure meant an early finish for Matthew and co-driver Michael Orr on the first stage this morning. Manfred Stoll has had another quiet but controlled performance for OMV Kronos Citroën. The Austrian has just lost 8th place to Henning Solberg, but is still in touch with the Norwegian, just over 12 seconds behind going into the final pair of stages. Jari-Matti Latvala, meanwhile, is moving in the opposite direction. Another impressive display from the Finn on his debut in Argentina in a World Rally car. He's up to 6th after passing Chris Atkinson on stage 16. So on to the final pair of stages then, with Sebastian Loeb holding an advantage of 15.1 seconds ahead of Marcus Gronholm, while Petter Solberg has begun to slip back from the leaders. Onto the 20-kilometre Amboy stage, and Loeb, who was just beaten for the first time on the previous test, finds an immediate response to Gronholm's charge. The Frenchman is 4.3 seconds quicker than the man in second. Ford's number 1 does come out on top again in the final stage of the day. A repeat of the Santa Rosa test on which he beat Seb earlier. This time, though, he only makes up 0.2 of a second. The gap between them going into the final leg is just under 20 seconds. Petter Solberg has not quite been able to match the blistering pace of the leading pair this afternoon. Although with the continuing question marks over the Impreta's handling, the podium finish should not be sniffed at.
Tightness 3 of a jump. No.
This, though, could yet be more reliability problems for the Norwegian. There's something seriously wrong here.
Supervision, Phil.
Go ahead, supervision, Phil.
Stop doing stage engine.
So it's obviously engine related, but unbelievably, it's the end of the day again for Petter with just 1 stage remaining.
Was there any warning of the engine failure, or was it very sudden?
No. Yeah. 1 second and it stopped. No warning on the screen, nothing. So something major must have happened. I think, yeah. Well, we will see. We will see.
Solberg's incredible run of bad luck continues then, while for the drivers behind it means an unexpected jump up the leaderboard. His brother Henning is one such beneficiary, also passing the struggling Atkinson to claim 6th on stage 17. There are also problems on the final stage of the day for Citroën's Danny Sordo. The Spaniard has hydraulic problems, forcing him to use the manual shift. He's clearly not happy, and co-driver Mark Marty's doing his best to keep his young compatriot calm. It's a costly delay, though. Danny loses nearly 2 minutes and falls from 4th to 8th. So with 1 day and 5 stages remaining tomorrow, this is how it stands. Gronholm has 19.2 seconds to make up to overhaul Loeb. Hivenen's 3rd place looks reasonably secure, while Henning Solberg is just 12.8 seconds behind Latvala.
Are you surprised that Marcus can't catch you? Doesn't seem to be able to catch you anywhere at the moment.
I hope that he cannot catch me, but yeah, I had to try hard to keep him behind. It's really a big battle because now we have 19 seconds, but in each stage it's really close, and we really have to go as fast as possible and to push hard to keep him behind. So.
okay, for the moment everything is okay.
19 seconds in theory isn't actually that much, especially with the 4 stages we have tomorrow. Is it achievable?
I think it's very difficult, but it's only 5 per stage, so we will see. Hopefully it will be a lot of fog tomorrow and difficult conditions, then it's maybe there is some chance.
It's been an eventful day here in Argentina, although it's a familiar face leading the way. It's not over yet though. Join us again tomorrow for the 3rd and final leg. In the meantime, keep up to date with all the latest news and results on WRC.com.